Hello everyone, Alicia here with another Lightened Up Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my version of a homemade granola. I was inspired to make my own homemade version because I absolutely love granola, but it's not only expensive, it's also typically pretty high in sugar, fat, calories, all that stuff that I don't want to be eating. So I wanted to make my own healthier version, and this one is not only healthier, it's also a high protein version with no added sugar. So I wanted to share this one with you guys because I like it quite a bit. So first I'm going to go over ingredients and I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make this. First off, you're going to need a cup of unsweetened applesauce. Now this, I'm using two of these Mott's single serve ones, and this is just right at a cup. Now the applesauce is going to be serving as one of the main sweeteners in this. This is not a super sweet granola because the sweetness is coming mostly from natural sugar in the applesauce there. Next up, you're going to need some peanut butter powder. I'm using this PBfit. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of this, and then you're also going to need 3 tablespoons of water to make that. And then back here, I've got some rolled oats or old-fashioned oats. You're going to need 3 cups of those. For a little extra protein in this, I'm going to be adding some of this Isopure zero carb protein. This is our favorite protein powder. I show this all the time. It's got 100 calories, 25 grams of protein, 0 carbs, and 0 fat. Also 0 sugar. But you could use whatever type protein powder you want. You could also use a different flavored protein powder I think would be really good in this, like chocolate. Like I said, this one is vanilla. Next up, I'm going to be using a cup total of nuts in this. And today I'm going to be using some whole almonds, a 1/2 cup of those. And then a 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. But you could use whatever type you want, but you're looking for around a cup of nuts. Next up, I'm going to be using some flaxseed meal, 3 tablespoons of this. And then for a mix-in, I'm going to be adding some dried cranberries. These are 50% less sugar. You could do raisins, golden raisins, a different type of dried fruit, but I just like the craisins in these. Plus my husband doesn't like raisins, so usually I use the cranberries instead of raisins, but I do think raisins would be really good in this. So for the other sweetener in this, I'm going to be using Lakanto monk fruit sweetened maple flavored syrup. I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of this. As I said before, this is not a super sweet granola, so if you wanted to make this a little more sweet, you could up the amount of the syrup that you're using, probably to like a 1/2 cup. Next up, I'm going to be using 1½ teaspoons ground cinnamon, a teaspoon vanilla extract, and a 1/2 teaspoon salt. And this is the kosher salt. This is what I typically use. But that is everything that's in this, so let me get it started. The first thing I did was get my oven preheating to 300 Fahrenheit. And then here I've got my 1/2 cup almonds. These are whole, so I'm going to just give them a little bit of a rough chop. Now you could definitely use sliced, which would make this easier. You just skip this step, but I'm going to give these just a rough chop and then I will be back. Got those roughly chopped with just kind of a variety of sizes of pieces. So now I'm going to take a medium bowl and I'm going to add those in along with my 1/2 cup pumpkin seeds, my 3 cups rolled oats, 2 scoops protein powder, 1½ teaspoon cinnamon, and a 1/2 teaspoon salt. And then finally, my 3 tablespoons of flaxseed meal. Now I'm going to just stir all of that together really well. Got this all mixed together well, so I'm going to set this aside and then I'm going to get my peanut butter made up. So for my peanut butter, I've got my 3 tablespoons of water here. I'm going to just add in my 1/4 cup PBfit powder and stir that together until it's smooth. I've got that all stirred together and this is how it's looking. So now I'm going to grab myself a large bowl and I'm going to add my peanut butter in along with my applesauce, my 1/4 cup Lakanto maple syrup, and my teaspoon vanilla extract. Now I'm going to just whisk all of that together really well. Get that all mixed together well. So now I'm going to grab my dry ingredients, pour those in, and stir this all together until it's well combined. Got this all stirred together. So now I'm going to grab myself a 1/2 sheet baking sheet And I'm gonna just pour this on. Now this is a nonstick baking sheet. If you don't have a nonstick, I would probably put some parchment down first, but I'm gonna just spread this out now on here. Okay, now I'm gonna bake this in my preheated oven at 300 Fahrenheit for around 40 minutes, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, and it's gonna depend on your oven, your bakeware, your altitude, all that good stuff, but it's gonna be roughly 40 minutes. And what you're gonna wanna do is around the halfway point, you're gonna wanna flip this. So I'll come back in about 20 minutes and I'll show you that. This has been baking for 20 minutes. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of flip it. I'm gonna cut it in sections to make that easier. And I'm gonna bake it 15 to 20 minutes longer until this crisps up on the top. I did end up letting this go another 20 minutes, and here is how it's looking. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of break this up, which is a little difficult to do, but just kind of chunk it up. Once I've got it kind of in little smaller pieces, I'm gonna add in my half cup red cranberries. And then I'm gonna just kind of continue to break this up and kind of get it all stirred together on the pan. Got that all broken up and stirred together, and that's how it is looking. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this remain on the pan. I'm gonna just let it cool completely. And it is gonna crisp up a little bit more during that process. So once this is totally cooled down, I will be back to show you a serving and the points and all that. All right, I let this cool completely. And the servings, I have them factored in at a half cup servings. It makes roughly 7 cups, so there's 14 servings. And serving size is gonna be 2 points, which I don't think is too bad, especially if you were to compare this to like a store-bought granola, which is really, really high. So now that this is cool, I'll show you how I store mine. This stores really well. Ours usually doesn't last more than a week, but I would guess it would store for at least a couple weeks in a airtight container. So I'll show you how I store mine. Okay, so I just store mine in wide mouth mason jars with these airtight lids on them. And that works really well. But you could just store this in whatever type of airtight container that you want. But yeah, it lasts pretty good like this. So also, this stuff is good just to eat by itself. I like to have it with like fruit and yogurt. There's lots of different ways you can eat this. But like I said, it's just good all by itself. And for 2 points, a half cup, that's not too bad point-wise. I also have different ways that I use this and recipes. If you want to see any of those, let me know and I will film some of those. But yeah, very versatile stuff. Like I said in the beginning, you can mix up whatever you put in it as far as the nuts, the fruit, all that kind of stuff, the seasoning as well. Just very versatile recipe. But I'll have my husband tell you what it tastes like here in just a second. All right, I got a serving here just to kind of show you size, what that would be. And my husband will taste that and say what you think of it. Yeah, you can just keep eating it.
So, there's different kinds of
Granola.
Lots
of different kinds of granola.
So this isn't the super sugary, super crunchy kind?
Nope.
But if I didn't know that my wife made that, and that it was lightened up, is that the right term?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you that that didn't come from a bag that I bought at a
grocery store. It's not super sweet though.
No, which is
fine with us.
Yeah, I mean granola is so, I can't think of the word, because you want, it's like your mind says granola is healthy, but
It is not.
Good grief, it's not. So
No.
I prefer this.
Yeah.
Really nice mix, so you get the different I'm not even sure what's coming out first. So you get the really light syrup flavor. Mm-hmm. Almond, right?
Almond.
Sunflower seed.
No, it's pumpkin seeds. You can use sunflower seeds are a good option too. Walnuts.
So, yeah, it's a really nice mix. So you get a little bit of the sweetness, and then you'll get the different nuts, and then you get the savory of the oats. You know, the nuts are savory too, but
yeah,
just kind of the base layer of the oats at the end.
So you're a fan.
Big fan.
All right, guys.
Of you.
As well, or ditto, or whatever I'm trying to say there.
All right.
Do you like the? Oh, and I use. I think I said it already, but I use the cranberries because you don't like raisins. But I think raisins would be real. Yeah, not obviously you're not a fan, but I would think they would be really good too.
So going back to comment, this isn't the really super sugary crunchy. Mm-hmm. It does have a nice. There is a crunch to it.
Yeah, and if you cook it a little longer than I did, it would probably be a little crunchier. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't want to cook it too long and then end up burning it. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
crunch
I think
level.
It's the nuts add a satisfying level of crunch to it.
And with traditional granola, you're getting that crunchiness from the oils and the sugar that's in it, which this has neither. So that does affect it a little bit, the overall texture. But I think it's pretty good. So, all right. Well, that was homemade high protein. I didn't tell you there's protein powder in there, did I? Yeah, high protein, homemade, healthy granola. If this sounds like something you want to check out, be sure to check out the link that I will have the recipe in my website or on my website, where you will find the full list of ingredients, instructions, WW points, nutritional info, all that and more will be on my website. But thank you guys as always for watching, and I will see you on the next one.